G'day.
Hello there.
I'm Aussie Robbo.
I'm English Jen.
And welcome back to a new episode for Day 4, the final day of Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, so the final day is usually one of the quieter days, so we're looking forward to having a bit of a slow meander at the start. I'm going to hopefully catch a couple of animation-based panels because I'm into the animation. He's not, so you're going to be going where?
I'm going to try and get some more cosplay footage and just check out some more stores.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll run into some friends on the way and some meet and greets with cosplayers and hopefully the announcement of where the next celebration will be, which is the big question for today. Is it going to be Orlando? Is it going to be Germany? Is it going to be Belgium? Is it going to be further afield? Who knows? But join us straight after the intro.
So it is Day 4. It's about 10:30 in the morning and it's the fourth day of the convention today. We've turned up a little bit late. We got here about 10:30. We just couldn't face getting up too early this morning to get in. I guess it's going to be a quieter day today. It's like the kind of Sunday-ish. It's the final day. Everyone's winding down. A lot of the stock's gone, so it's just kind of getting to see those little things that you missed out on. Maybe a few panels or a few talks or a few things going on that we might have missed. Darren has gone over to the Bad Batch panel, so he's trying to get into the Bad Batch. He didn't have a ticket, again, we didn't manage to get any tickets for any shows, but fingers crossed he's able to get in there and go see that. I might try and catch the classic toy talk. I think there's a talk on the old retro toys going on later on, but I'm just going to wander around and see what I can find. The celebration stage seems to be kicking up straight away, so they seem to be ramping up to get a few talks going on over there, so I might try and catch a few of those. But yeah, let's see how the day unfolds. So I just spoke with a company called GW Acrylic, quite a nice little company, British company, and they make acrylic cases for displays. A lot of the stuff they had there was for little kind of smaller figures, but I did ask and they'd make a lot bigger sizes on their website. So for someone like Darren or other collectors who collect a lot of hot toys and want an individual size kind of acrylic case to protect them and keep the dust off, that might be a good option actually. So definitely worth checking out, GW Acrylic if you're in the UK. So I've just been into the kind of stall shopping area again. Went back to the Roosevelt store, which I went to yesterday, as you remember. They're the ones with the really kind of cool Star Wars shirt designs, really very individual. Just started selling here in the UK in the last 6 weeks apparently. And I got talking to one of the guys, and they actually sell these stubby holders, which I was looking at yesterday. We call them stubby holders in Australia. I'm not sure what they call them in the US and the UK. They kind of protect the drinks and keep them cool, I guess, and make sure that you don't get the surface wet. So they were £4 each, so I bought a couple of those, give one to a friend and a couple for our house. And I also got chatting to a couple of lovely ladies who have been watching a few of our vlogs over the last couple of days, so that was really nice. They also go to Florida, so that was very cool, chatting to them real quick. And then I actually made a stop at a stall called Vectus, which I've never heard of before, but they sell a lot of old Star Wars figures. So a lot of the classic ones from when I was a kid, not trying to give my age away, but a lot of the classic figures that still seem to be in the packaging, which are worth quite a lot. I never kept mine in any sort of packaging, mine were always out and being played with. But some of them worth £200, £300, £400, £500, £600, depending on the condition of the box. But it was very cool to walk around there. It's amazing how small they were. I guess, you know, when you're a kid, everything seems bigger with the size of your hand. But I remember the figures being bigger when I was a kid. But that was a kind of cool store to walk around and have a look at.
One toy, well, there's quite a few toys that were reused for other sort of franchises. And one of them was the Ewok Battle Wagon. So this is down far. Which I believe was maybe used for the Kevin Costner Robin Hood Prince of Thieves.
So Darren, you just got out of the Bad Batch?
Yeah, Bad Batch. So they spent most of the panel discussing season 2. Quite emotional, considering what happened in season 2. I'm not going to spoil it, but there were losses. And yeah, and then we also had the voice actors, which was great. Dee Bradley is one of my favourite voice actors, so I was really thrilled to finally see him on stage. And he lives up to every expectation. He's funny, charming, dry, wit, and his voice acting, his talent. He does the voices for so many characters, and he can switch between them. Like, the nuances were amazing. It had people really thrilled. And then you've got Michelle, who does the voice for Omega. Omega's not liked by a lot of the fanship. However, I look at her with potential of where she could end up going as a character as she gets older. I didn't like Ahsoka Tano when she was first introduced for the first 2 seasons of Clone Wars, but there's potential, and Michelle, who plays her, is so attached to the character. It's really lovely to see. But we got to see a preview trailer for the still in production season 3, and it's going to be the final season. And all I can say, the only thing I'll say is there's a lot more coming. It's going to have a dark tone, and the Emperor is here. Look busy. So yeah, for the first time in 4 days, we actually made it to the Funko booth. I've kind of stopped collecting Funkos, so I'm more here just to see what they've released, and especially for the exclusives that they do at Celebration. For this is now just gone midday, so you only can get in before midday with a reservation, and that was like a lottery system, really, like everything else. But we got one, and we got to see it, and it's looking pretty stocked. So let's see what we've got. I may already have this. It's not on display yet, but I do have this. This is basically their movie collection, and they're going to do extra-sized pops that go with it that kind of complement the original movie poster. Hoping for them to do the rest of the movies. That'll be nice. You've got some old ones here. So you've got the Luke on Tauntaun, which was the 40th Empire Strikes Back. And then they also do these ones now where main characters, sort of like iconic scenes where there's a group shot and you collect each piece. I decided not to go down that rabbit hole because they became quite expensive. But let's have a look right. So Funko also own Loungefly, which are the ones who do bags, etc. And they have some over here. Yeah. So another thing that they do with Funko, they're tapping into everything. So they've obviously got clothing and apparel. So they've got they actually do some nice designs. Occasionally, they kind of go away from the sort of typical Funko design, which I tend to go for. And they do things like recreate posters. This is like a kind of retro comic, or like 1970s, 1980s comic sort of design. Kind of like cell animation as well, like the resurgence of cell animation. Yeah, there we are. So I think I originally had that comic. So I've just seen the Bad Batch preview for the final season, season 3, and look at what they've got here, the whole Bad Batch in one box set. I personally like it. Rob's not a fan of Bad Batch or most of the animations, but I really like it. Wow.
Please stand to the side, ladies and gentlemen. Stand to the side and let I hope you're having a wonderful weekend.
So hopefully you can hear me. It's not as busy today, but it's still very busy because lots of people who could only get tickets for Monday. But I'm going to, it's now gone, well, just going to 12:30. So I'm going to go and see if I can get into the Star Wars Visions Season 2 panel in the Celebration stage. I am a very happy chappy. By the skin of my teeth I've managed to get in. I'm in the Celebration stage. I'm really looking forward to this. This is like I'm so glad they're doing a panel for this one because it deserves it. Let's see.
So Darren's just gone off to do another panel, and I was feeling a bit hungry, so I just had a hot dog over in the food court. Quite basic hot dog with just there wasn't many options for sauce, ketchup and dried onions. Okay, nice flavour for the hot dog. Maybe 3.5 shrimps on a barbie. So the last couple of days we've been here, we've run into the same couple every single time, and they've become my favourite cosplay couple, Rob and Katie. And I just thought I'd have a little chat with them and just see what their story is, because they've come from the Midlands, but they're part of one of the groups.
Hi, hello there.
Hi,
Hi, so yeah, we're part of a big group called the East Midlands Garrison. So we do charity work for PASIC, and everything that we do Star Wars related is all for charity. So we go to events nationally, and we do a lot locally in the Midlands as well. And we just love what we do. We love the characters, and we are a real couple as well. So to embody Han and Leia is just fabulous.
I know the Garrison's become a second family to us. Really, we've got friends for life. We get to hang out, we get to dress up, and we get to raise money for, like Katie says, PASIC, which is Parents Association of Sick and Injured Children. We do a lot of work in the Midlands area for not just the children that are poorly, but also to support the families. So if you'd like to get involved with us or follow us, please go to Facebook, East Midlands Garrison official friends and family page, and may the force be with you.
Amazing.
We're going to continue to start
For the rebellion, hip it! Hooray! Hooray!
So Darren, yes, you've just been to another panel while I've been walking around.
Yeah, so I did Star Wars Visions. It's called Volume 2. So these are, if you've seen Visions number 1, you know exactly what it is. It's basically different animators, different media types, and they each do their own story in the Star Wars universe. Usually not connected with anything that you know, so it's like a twist. And with the second volume, they are really amping it up, and they've got some big hitters. So there was Aardman Animation, very British, and there was who else? There was Robot Punk, Punk Robot, sorry, and yeah, about nine different sort of directors all came on stage, and everything was like so stylized and beautifully done. It's going to be really exciting to see. You won't be disappointed by Volume 2. I actually think it looks even more impressive than Volume 1 in lots of ways. So I've got a free poster to pick up at some point before the end of the day. And we got to watch the Aardman short, which was very typically Aardman. So it's stop motion animation, and most of the team were there as well. Yeah, it was worth. It comes out on May the 4th on Disney Plus, all of them. So look out for that one, but definitely the Aardman one. Support the British.
In 2025, in Japan!
Japan?
Wow.
Well,
Is that saying Japan?
looks like we're saving for Japan. Wow, that's a real surprise.
Yeah.
Real surprise. Well, I actually quite like that surprise.
Yeah. You start learning Japanese, don't you?
And so with that, the announcement of Japan being the next one in 2025. This is Poe and a shore trooper. This is about as far as our cosplay went today. This is how much our energy is depleted. But let's talk to you properly. Yeah, so Japan. We don't know where we're going to go yet. It's a big
Financial,
and yeah, you have to really think it through. We'd like to go to Japan. That's one of our dream places to go. However, so if you are going to wonder about that and ask us, yeah, we're not sure at the moment. Anyway, back to the actual convention we've been to. So, how do you feel this weekend's gone?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in different ways I thought I would, which is I guess what you need to think about with conventions.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems we've had, which we've had in Florida as well, which we didn't experience in London previously, is that we couldn't get into the conventions necessarily, the panels that we wanted. So I felt that was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
But we've definitely enjoyed it in other ways.
Yeah, I would say that for us, panels are the production side of things. Announcements is a big thing for us. It always has been, always will be. And it is a bit of a bummer when you don't get in them. I'm not a big fan of the lottery system because it gives some people 5 panels, other people's nothing. But
I feel like they didn't stream the more popular panels in other locations,
which is a shame.
And I feel putting it right at the start is a bit of a weird thing.
Lucasfilm doing their big one,
I feel like it would have been better on the second day, maybe. But anyway, I'm not to decide. What are your biggest tips from the weekend?
Tips? Okay, it kind of goes back into the cosplay. This is our first time doing cosplay properly at a convention. And one of the beautiful things, apart from the fact it's fun and it's kind of in theme, one of the best things that comes out of it is that people approach you more. and that was really lovely. That was like my highlight of the whole weekend. Meeting so many people, just because having the cosplay on opens people up to approach you and be nice and be kind and appreciative, and you can do it back, and they appreciate the time spent. So yeah, if you ever consider doing cosplay, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can think out the box. There's been people walking around in dustbin bags and cardboard that they've painted, and every kind of imaginary sort of situation you could think of with materials. They've thought of something quirky, and everybody loves it. It doesn't matter what level you're at, everybody loves it. So I would really ask anybody coming, if you consider it, do it. Do it.
My biggest tips for the weekend for the next convention or Star Wars Celebration. The app was a lot more useful. We definitely got announcements, although the only announcements we got on the app were about the fact that all the panels were overfilled, so don't bother going to the panels. But the information was very useful. One thing I will say is the celebration stage, the live stage, a lot of the times weren't accurate. They would move things around, so don't be too stuck to that the time frame, because a lot of the times didn't work out, is what we discovered. One thing I will say is definitely join Facebook groups to do with Star Wars Celebration. So we were in a few, and we've been in them for like 6 months to a year, and a lot of people discuss and get tips from there. So even people coming from America and getting travel tips and hotel tips, and even just like things about currency, you get a lot of information from the Star Wars groups. Some of them can be quite a little bit negative depending on who's posting, but mostly it's been a very positive learning experience for a lot of people. And you see a lot of announcements over that weekend as well as people posting photos. You see a lot of people sharing information, so it's very useful for getting information. So Facebook groups, very, very useful.
Yeah, and adding to that, one of the Facebook groups I've been into, because I've got the hidden disabilities, they've actually improved every year. The access has been amazing, and there's a really good group. It's also going to be a group for the new one that's going to be in Japan, and they were, the first couple of days, they were gold, because it could steer us away from rather than walking to the other end of the convention centre, we knew that it was blocked off or whatever, we couldn't get access, so we'd like stay put. So people are updating all the time. We've helped people, they've helped us back, sharing information. What
I will say is there is probably a Star Wars Celebration 2025 Japan group now that has been started by people as soon as the announcement was made, and so you'll probably get loads of information from that, so I'd join that.
Yeah, usually there's the main group and they update anyway, and then there's lots of splinter groups that come off that are smaller in size but still provide really, really useful information. The last day of the con is usually, it's always the quietest. However, if you're someone who doesn't like crowds and doesn't like kind of all the hullabaloo but don't mind missing things like the big panels that happen at the start, then the last day is actually quite a good day. If you're kind of looking for Star Wars light, book the last day. It's a bit more chilled. There's still cosplay going on. There's still announcements going on. There's still that kind of air of excitement, but you're not going to be stressed about the crowds that we had on, especially Friday. It was really bad. highlights have been meeting strangers from all over the world, whether it be in queues, whether it be in passing, whether it being in a panel, the most random places. On the tube home, we've met people and had like full conversations that help pass the time of waiting when you're having to wait to get home. It's been amazing, and I will definitely be doing cosplay again. I think if it's overseas, I'll probably just do one cosplay that's very light and easy to travel with. That's something to think of, because some of these guys are very dedicated and they come with crates. But yeah, it's been amazing, and thank you to everybody who's come up to us, whether you've been someone who's subscribed to us previously or know us off Instagram, or if you actually subscribed to us since meeting us. Thank you for making us feel really, treasured, and thanking us for our Disney trips and thanking us for all sorts. It's been really random, and it's actually made our weekend. And we hope that continues, because we love meeting you all. And make sure, if you haven't joined us on Instagram, make sure to check us out on Instagram. That's where we'll be sharing lots of photos. We've taken lots of photos we haven't shared because it's not great signal, so we're going to be sharing loads of those.
So my highlight, actually cosplaying on that Saturday would definitely be a highlight. I definitely really enjoyed that. I didn't think I would. I thought the costume would be quite heavy and cumbersome, and I actually brought shorts and a t-shirt because I was going to change halfway through the day, but I didn't, because actually it was more enjoyable and more comfortable than I thought it would be. So definitely cosplaying, and also meeting the other cosplayers as well. Met some really nice people over the whole weekend, especially Katie and Rob. Shout out to them, who were mentioned earlier. Everyone was really nice, and everyone was really accommodating in terms of wanting to get photos and video for the So that was really definitely a highlight. Very tiring 4 days though, so looking forward to next weekend after going back to work again tomorrow. So that is the end of Star Wars Celebration for us, London 2023.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. 2017 was our last one in Orlando, and fingers crossed we'll be having another one in less time in the future. Who can say? But thanks for joining us, especially if you've gone for every single day, 1, 2, 3, and this one 4. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated, especially the comments and the thumbs up. Brilliant.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. No worries. Thank you very much.
So much.
Great job.
You're welcome. This is all mine. You're welcome.
And his.
Yeah. I invented this.